If you're married, were married, or widowed, your Social Security claiming options can be a lot different. Hi, I'm Larry Goist, owner of LMS Insurance Group, where we help seniors navigate the Medicare Maze. So in today's short video, I'm telling you about Social Security claiming options for widows and spouses. And I'm going to go over three real basic topics. So number one, I'm going to tell you what the different claiming options are for spouses. Number two, I'm going to tell you how survivor benefits work for widowers. And then number three, I'm going to tell you some tips and tricks that a lot of people never even think about. And that's all coming up next. Hey, before I dive in, don't forget to like our channel. Definitely subscribe if you find this content helpful. I do appreciate you doing that. Okay, so what are the rules for claiming a spousal benefit? Well, number one is you have to be married for at least 1 year to be entitled to a spousal benefit. Okay, secondly, you can collect a spousal benefit if your spouse is already collecting Social Security. And then thirdly, you have to be at least 62 years old to claim a spousal benefit. So those are the three prerequisites. Married for 1 year, your spouse is already collecting their Social Security, and you're at least 62 years old. Okay, but how much would you actually get? So when you claim a spousal benefit, you are entitled to 50% of what your spouse would have received at full retirement age. So you're getting 50% of what their full retirement benefit would be, not necessarily what they're taking home right now. And if you collect it before your full retirement age, it's going to be reduced even further. So you already started at 50% of their full retirement amount, but then if you claim it 62, 63, 64, 65, or 66, you're taking it before your full retirement date, so it will be reduced even further. And it's also important to note there's no bonus in waiting past your full retirement age to collect a spousal benefit because it doesn't grow any more than that number would have been at their full retirement age. Now, to give you an example to bring this to life, say your spouse is a little older, they're 70, and at their full retirement age, let's say they were entitled to $3,000 a month on a Social Security benefit. Well, you might be 62, and at that time, you might only be entitled to $1,000 a month. Well, if you want to start collecting, you can get half of their amount at FRA, full retirement, which would start at $1,500, but then it would be reduced because you took it early. Okay, now same example, your spouse is $3,000 at full retirement age. Now, let's say you didn't collect, you get to your full retirement age, and your monthly benefit would only be $1,300. Well, since you waited the full retirement age, you can collect half of the $3,000, again, $1,500. In this scenario, it would be better to collect the spousal benefit. You would get $200 more per month because half of $3,000 is $1,500. So you would get that amount instead of the $1,300. And it's also important to note when we talk about you're going to get half of their benefit or this percent of their benefit, that is not actually reducing what they receive. So if your spouse was receiving $3,000 a month and then you collected a spousal benefit that puts you at $1,500 a month, your spouse would still continue to receive the same amount every month. That money's not coming out of their Social Security benefit. Now, when it comes to widows' benefits, you are entitled to 100% of what they would have received at full retirement age. Not a reduced 50%, you can actually get the entire benefit. And the flexibility that most people miss is this is the one instance where you're allowed to change benefits. And what I mean by that is you could take your survivor benefit at 62. Let's say that your deceased spouse was going to receive $2,000 a month at their full retirement age. So you could take your benefit at 62. It would be reduced from the $2,000 because you took it early. So you would receive less than $2,000 a month at 62. But you can continue to collect that benefit at 62, 63, 64, all the way till 70, and you can continue to let your Social Security benefit grow. So you can take that widow benefit and continue to let your Social Security benefit grow. When you delay Social Security, it's growing by 6% a year before full retirement age, and then 8% a year after. So imagine you're taking a widow benefit, whatever that number is, and you just continue to let yours grow to the largest amount, and then you switch it to your retirement benefit when the time is right. This gives widows and widowers one of the most flexible claiming opportunities on Social Security. Now, survivor benefits are different in age. So if you're getting a survivor benefit, you could start collecting this at age 60. And if you are a disabled widow, you could start collecting the widow's benefit as early as age 50. And again, under both of these circumstances, you can collect the widow's benefit while your Social Security continues to grow by getting the delayed retirement credits. But under all circumstances, it is reduced if taken early, if taken before your full retirement age. Okay, so a few tips and tricks that a lot of people don't realize. So number one is that the higher Social Security benefit controls the game. The higher earner's decision affects both spouses. And the reason is, if your spouse passes away, whichever one is left living is entitled to the largest of the two Social Security benefits. So a lot of times it may not make sense for the breadwinner to collect their Social Security early. They may want to continue to delay to get that number to the biggest possible, because God forbid they pass away, that benefit would then go to the spouse, the larger amount. So a very common claiming decision would be if there was a big difference in income between one spouse and another, breadwinner and the other spouse, the lower income earner spouse can collect, tap into the benefit, use it for the family, and let the higher income earner Social Security grow and take advantage of those delayed credits. Okay, tip number two is you don't automatically get the best option. The fact is, a lot of people working at Social Security have been there less than 2 years, and they don't always know all the rules. They will not automatically give you the benefit that's going to pay you the most. You have to know what benefit you want to file for and the repercussions of doing so. Tip number three, if you're divorced, you still may qualify. So if you are divorced but you were married for 10 years and you have not yet remarried, you are entitled to your ex-spouse's benefit. And it would not decrease their benefit at all, but the same rule here, they would have to be collecting their Social Security for you to be able to collect as well. And tip number four is timing matters more than people think. If you do the math on delaying your Social Security and the amount of money that can add up to over 20 or 30 years, you will see that timing is everything when it comes to Social Security claiming decisions. A few years difference in claiming could amount to tens of thousands of dollars of benefits over 20 or 30 years. So guys, to recap, spousal benefits start at 50% of your spouse's full retirement amount. These could be claimed as early as age 62, but it'll certainly be reduced. For widows and widowers, you're entitled to a survivor benefit. This could be claimed at age 60 and as early as age 50 if you're disabled. Sometimes these decisions cannot be reversed, so timing and information is everything. So before you decide to claim Social Security benefits, make sure you understand all your options, especially if you are married, divorced, or widowed. If you find this educational content helpful, definitely subscribe. I'll talk to you next time. Larry Goist, LMS Insurance Group. Thanks for watching.